Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to His confounded Chara, His Divine Grace, Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
So, we have just few devotees online now. We're live, I guess we will have to start. And devotees will join as we go along. So, our speaker today needs no introduction. He's our own very host of the Hare Krishna Africa platform. His Grace Sriman SAHADEVA Prabhu. SAHADEVA Prabhu, thank you very much for taking this service to speak to us. Hare Krishna. So, I'll go ahead and put the verse on the screen, and that case we can start.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Statatmane Shri Guru Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Namane. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastatara Desatara. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Dityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavata Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for being here. Today we are discussing two verses of chapter 11 of Canto 3 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're discussing texts 17 and 18. So 17 is on the board. Bhagavan Veda Kalasya Gatim Bhagavato Nanu Vishwam Vichakshate Dira Yoga Radena Chakshusha. Bhagavan Veda Kalasya Gatim Bhagavato Nanu Vishwam Vichakshate Dira Yoga Radena Chakshusha. Bhagavan Veda Kalasya Gatim Bhagavato Nanu Vishwam Vichakshate Dira Yoga Radena Chakshusha. Synonyms: Bhagavan, or spiritually powerful one. Veda, you know. Kalasya, of the eternal time. Gatim, movements. Bhagavataha, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nanu, as a matter of course. Vishwam, the whole universe. Vichakshate, see. Diraha, those who are self-realized. Yoga Radena, by dint of mystic vision. Chakshusha, by the eyes. Translation and purport by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: O spiritually powerful one, you can understand the movements of eternal time, which is the controlling form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because you are a self-realized person, you can see everything by the power of mystic vision. Purport: those who have reached the highest perfectional stage of mystic power and can see everything in the past, present, and future are called Trikalajyans. Similarly, the devotees of the Lord can see everything clearly that is in the revealed scriptures. The devotees of Lord Shri Krishna can very easily understand the science of Krishna, as well as the situation of the material and spiritual creations without difficulty. Devotees do not have to endeavor for any yoga siddhi or perfection in mystic powers. They are competent to understand everything by the grace of the Lord, who is sitting in everyone's heart. Text 18. Maitreya uvacha, Kretam treta dwaparamcha, Kalischeti chaturyugam, Devyara dwada shabirvarashahi, Savadanam nirupitam. Maitreya uvacha, Kretam treta dwaparamcha, Kalischeti chaturyugam, Devyara dwada shabirvarashaha, Savadanam nirupitam. Maitreya uvacha, Kretam treta dwaparamcha, Kalischeti chaturyugam, Devyara dwada shabirvarashahi, Savadanam nirupitam. Synonyms. Maitreya uvacha, Maitreya said, Kretam, the age of Satya. Treta, the age of Treta. Dwaparam, the age of Dwapar. Cha, also. Kalihi, the age of Kali. Cha, and. Eti, thus. Chatuyugam, 4 millenniums. Divyahi, of the demigods. Dwada Shabihi, 12. Varashahi, thousands of years. Sa Avadanam, approximately. Nirupitam, ascertained. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation, Maitreya said, O Vidura, the 4 millenniums are called the Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali Yuga. The aggregate number of years of all of these combined is equal to 12,000 years of the demigods. Purport. The years of the demigods are equal to 360 years of humankind. As will be clarified in the subsequent verses, 12,000 of the demigods' years, including the transitional periods, which are called Yuga Sandhyas, comprise the total of the aforementioned 4 millenniums. Thus, the aggregate of the above-mentioned 4 millenniums is 4,320,000 earthly years. Oma Jana Timrandasya, Jana Shalakaya, Chakshu Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama, Yam Dadati Swa Padantikam. Vancha Kalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindubhi Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Tirota Swamini Tinamine Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shtatatmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Titatinamine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastatya Dishataride Namo Mahavadanya Ya Krishna Prema Patayate Krishna Ya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tueshe Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, we thank you for being here as always. So we continue our discussions on time as explained from the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is described as the ripened, matured fruit of the Vedic knowledge. In other words, the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, contains all necessary information to be known from the Vedas. It is the essence of the Vedas, because once one understands the Bhagavatam, then one can surely understand the essence of the Vedas. Vedas comes from the word Veda, and the word Veda means knowledge. So all sorts of knowledge, whatever we consider to be knowledge, is found in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada wrote one book called Topmost Yoga, the Topmost Yoga. So, despite the fact that there are so many different types of knowledge in the Vedas, and specifically in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the topmost of all these different types of knowledge is bhakti, devotion, love. Love to who? We all may have love for different beings and for different things. But the topmost of all sorts of love is love for God. When we talk of God, we talk about a person, and therefore we talk about Krishna. Krishna is a person. Krishna is not some sort of ideal figure that someone can just imagine. But Krishna is a person, is a being that we can relate with. So we've been studying time, which is called color. And this color is possible due to Lord Vishnu's chakra. So time in Sanskrit technically is referred to as chakra color. Chakra is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu's weapon. Lord Vishnu is identical with the weapon called chakra. And therefore, when you talk of time, time is also Krishna, is Lord Vishnu. And therefore, time is supposed to be used judiciously and very effectively. We also have the saying that time, once lost, can never be retrieved, can never be regained. So time has to be used carefully. But time is calculated differently based on the different planets within each and every universe. And apart from different planets within the universe having different time calculations, different bodies within different planets in each universe also have their own different time calculation. Therefore, even though time is Lord Vishnu's chakra, which is absolute and eternal, in this material universe, it is relative. And that is why we may say it's a long time, or we may say it's a short time. I sometimes watch boxing as a sport, and you realize that in each round, these boxers are given 5 minutes. And some martial arts, they are given 3 minutes. These 5 minutes, to most people and whatever they are doing, is a very short time. But to the boxers, 5 minutes is a very long time, especially if you're losing the fight. And then they are given 1 minute break to rest, just to resume the fight. And that 1 minute, even though it's very short, but it's so long for the boxers to take rest and recuperate. So time is relative. On this Earth planet, I should say, on this Earth planet, we understand we have 60 seconds. That makes 1 minute. And then 60 minutes, making 1 hour. Then 12 hours, making a day. 12 hours, making a night. And therefore, 24 hours together, we have 1 day. And then we have 30 of such 24 hours, making 1 month. And 12 of such months, making 1 year. This is earthly calculations for humans. It does not apply to other creatures. A dog's lifespan in the dog's world is not calculated based on human time calculation. And so when we travel, when we do, like, say, space travel or time travel to other planets, of course, as devotees, we understand that there are different planets within the universe. And we also understand that each planet is designed differently. There are certain plants that are found on certain planets that cannot be found on other planets. Even right on this Earth planet, there are certain plants that you find in the tropical regions that you cannot find in the temperate regions. So there are different trees, different flowers, different plants on different planets that cannot be found on other planets. So the lifespan of each and every one is 100 years, but this 100 years is relative. A dog in its own world lives for 100 years. But that 100 years to you and me as human beings is just about 20 years. The spider also has 100 years to live in its own world. But the 100 years of the spider may just be a month to you and me as humans. So this is the nature Lord Brahma has designed every different planet within the universe. Lord Brahma himself lives for 100 years. And we understand that Lord Brahma is living in the highest planet within the material universe. And there are other demigods beneath Lord Brahma who also lives better, pious, sense-gratifying lives than us, we humans. For example, it is estimated in the scriptures that the beings on the moon planet, our 6 months from January 1st to June 30th, which is 6 months, is their 12 hours. It's their 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., which is night, is also another 6 months, which is from July 1st to December 31st. So our 1 year is 1 day for the beings on the moon planet. And that is not even how the days on the planet of Lord Brahma is estimated. Because Lord Brahma's 100 years, when that is translated into the earthly calculations, is billions of years. Billions of years. And that is how long Lord Brahma lives. Lord Brahma is not going to die before his 100th year. Within 1 day of Lord Brahma, within 1 day of Lord Brahma, it is estimated that, just like we read, there are Chatru Yugas. Chatru means 4. Yuga means ages. So the 4 ages are Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. 4 of these ages are, if you have 1,000 of such years, that makes 1 day of Lord Brahma. It's almost insane for us as humans to just estimate that. Kali Yuga alone lasts for 432,000 years. You multiply that by 2, which will be 860 something thousand years. That is the age for Dwapara Yuga. And then you multiply that by 2, that is the age for Treta. And then you multiply that by 2, that is the age for Satya Yuga. Now, if you add all these 4 ages times 1,000 of such, that makes up 1 day of Lord Brahma. So, we all understand that there is a very, very vast time difference between the different planets within the universe. In the scriptures, of course, we all know that Lord Krishna's senior brother is Lord Balaram. And Lord Balaram's wife is called Revati. Revati. This Revati is a daughter to one great sage called Raivati, but most commonly known as Kakutmi. So it is said in the scriptures that this Kakutmi was a king And in fact, it is described that his kingdom was actually beneath the ocean. See, I once asked a question about the size of this universe. The size of this universe is estimated to be 4 billion miles in circumference. So I was just imagining the size of this universe and the size of this earth. If the size of this earth is divided by the 4 billion miles of the universe, then we can presume how many planets we may have in this universe. And I was corrected that that system of measurement wouldn't work. Just to understand the size of the universe and how many planets could be fitted into the universe. Because there are many subtle planets within the universe that we cannot, with our gross way of measuring things, understand and give any measurement to these subtle planets. And we should understand that there are 14 planets within the creation of this Lord Brahma. These 14 planets are like gross in the sense that like they're major, but they're not gross in terms of feeling or texture. So there are 7 upper planetary systems and then 7 lower planetary systems. This is why the scriptures say there are 14 planetary systems within the Lord Brahma's universe. And in each of the 1 day of Lord Brahma, there are 71 Chatru Yugas. And then within the 71 Chatru Yugas, we also have 14 Manus, who are referred to as Manvantar. So it is described in the scriptures that 14, we are actually in the dispensation of the 7th Manu, who is referred to as Vaivatam Manu. And it is also, which is 7 is half of 14. And it so coincides with Lord Brahma's age. Lord Brahma's age in this particular dispensation is that he's also lived for 50 years his time. And he has 50 more years to go. So back to Kakutmi, the father of Revati, because he was a king and he only had one daughter. He only had one daughter called Revati. And he wanted to have a very suitable husband for his daughter. But he looked through all the different princes on earth, and he could not find anybody amongst the princes who was eligible, qualified to have his daughter as a wife. So being a yogi, he decided, why don't I go to Lord Brahma's abode and then meet with Lord Brahma and then ask Lord Brahma, who amongst his creation is actually appropriate for my daughter to be married to? Because to him, Kakutmi, he could not find a match for his daughter. So Kakutmi and his daughter, Revati, both by the power of yogic powers, traveled from earth to Satyaloka, that is Brahmaloka, where Lord Brahma lives. So when Kakutmi and his daughter, Revati, got to Satyaloka, he went to the palace of Lord Brahma, and he saw Lord Brahma sitting in his gorgeous seat, but there was singing going on, because the Gandharvas are known to be like the divine musicians for the Devas. So whenever the Devas want to treat themselves with music, these Gandharvas are invited. So even though the Gandharvas are in a very subordinate planets, they are permitted and granted the privilege to travel to different planets to perform their musical feats. So there were lots of Gandharvas playing in the courtyard, playing music in the courtyard of Lord Brahma. So as a matter of etiquette, Kakutmi and Revati, they stayed there for a while waiting for the music to end so that they can approach, Kakutmi in particular, could approach Lord Brahma and then tell him his story, why he's visited his planet. So he waited, and when the music was over, he approached Lord Brahma, offered his obeisances to Lord Brahma, and told Lord Brahma his purpose of visiting his planet. So when he told Lord Brahma that, I'm here because I've tried to look for a suitable groom for my wife, but I cannot find any suitable prince on earth. But I know you are the creator, and therefore you can tell me who is worthy of my wife as a husband. And so Lord Brahma listened to him, and then he smiled and said, my dear Kakutmi, I truly appreciate you coming to me to ask who is suitable for your wife. But unfortunately, the few moments you stayed here watching the musical drama taking place in our abode here, Satyaloka, your generation, their generation, and grand generations have all passed on. They are all dead and gone. And if you should go back to Earth planet, you're not going to meet any of the princes you knew that you were thinking a nun was suitable for your daughter, Revati. And then Lord Brahma had to educate Kakutmi that, you see, my dear Kakutmi, time on each planet is different, is calculated differently. Because just a moment on my Earth, on my Satyaloka planet here is millions of years, hundreds and thousands of years on Earth planet. So the very moment you sat here watching this musical drama going on, all the different generations you can think of have all passed and gone. So if you go back, you're not going to be able to identify anyone because they're all dead and gone. So he said, but I know someone on earth that is much more suitable for your daughter to be married to. And when you go back to earth, there is a being on the earth planet called Balaram. He is the Supreme Lord himself, and he is going to be the suitable husband for your daughter. So Kakutmi and Revati came back from Satyaloka to Earth planet. And when they got back to Earth planet, they could not recognize anything any longer. Everything had changed. The people did not look as attractive as they looked when they traveled to Satyaloka. The people did not smell as sweet as they used to. Their intellect was degraded. Their vigor gone. Their stature dwindled. Everything changed for worse. So Lord Brahma explained to Kakutmi, just imagine, this is very mind-blowing. Lord Brahma was explaining to Kakutmi and Revati that in the short period that you sat here watching the musical drama, it has been 27 Chatru Yugas past. So Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, that is one. 27 of such have passed in this short while you stayed here. So who are you going to recognize? There is none. So this can only be understood and appreciated by Vedic students. Those who are not Vedic students cannot appreciate this because they cannot understand. So when they came to Earth, he was able to recognize Lord Balaram. So he approached, Kakutmi approached Lord Balaram, and he told Lord Balaram, this is my daughter Revati, and per the instructions and the recommendations of Lord Brahma, the creator of this universe, you are supposed to be the husband to my daughter Revati. So Lord Balaram accepted the proposal. But Lord Balaram looked at Revati and he realized that Revati was so tall and so huge. That was not the size of beings during the time of Lord Balaram and Krishna on earth, which is just 5,000 years ago. So what did Lord Balaram do? Lord Balaram used his plow and then just smacked the head of Revati and it thereby shrunk or dwindled Revati to come to the size of beings at the time. So we know those beings, people who lived in the Dwapara Yuga were much stout, much strong, much better in everything than us today. Even in 300, 400, 500 years, we can also understand from anthropology that people who lived 300, 400, 500 years ago were much taller, stout than us. Again, in the descriptions of how Kali Yuga will be degraded, it is said that beings getting to the latter end of Kali Yuga, human beings on this earth planet will be very, very short in stature. And they will be very short-tempered. And their intelligence will be dwindled. Their vigor will be dwindled. Their lifespan will be dwindled. Even though in Kali Yuga, we're living for 100 years, but most people will not live to be 100. Most people will live to be in their 20s. So a 5-year-old girl will become pregnant and give birth to a child. These awful, horrible predictions are all stated in the scriptures. Some of us may become doubtful and say that, how could that happen? How is that even possible? How is a 5-year-old girl going to be able to have a child? Well, if someone has lived to be 60 years old, you will understand that now you are 60 years. When you were 7, 8, 9 years old, there are many things children of today do that at your time, children at your time never did. So this Kali Yuga is advancing, and it's advancing so fast that we as human beings with superior intelligence, the intelligence to analyze things in their right perspective, should utilize our time to serve Krishna in such a way that whenever we die, we don't have to come back into this material world again. No sane person should want to come back into this material world, because things are not going to get better. Things are going to get worse and worse and worse, till when the earth cannot hold anything together any longer, then there will be such a destruction that everything will be destroyed, so that Lord Brahma will have to recreate. So this is the advantage we have. Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport that the yogis, by their power of mysticism, can sit at one place and also understand what's going on other planets. They can travel to such different planetary systems and also understand what is going on those planets. Again, in the same Srimad Bhagavatam, describes that there are some yogis, even when they have become eligible to go back home, back to Godhead, they do not go directly. They travel to other planets within the material universe to explore, to see what's going on such planets, and slowly, traveling from one planet to another, they eventually go back to Vaikuntha. But Srila Prabhupada, as he was explaining in the purport, that the devotees of Lord Krishna do not have to do any or practice any sort of mysticism in order to be able to understand what's going on other planets within the universe or even outside the universe. Because just by rendering service to Krishna, because he is the source of everything, he, the Supreme Lord, can enlighten his dear devotees to understand what's going on other parts of the universe. So we all know that the pure devotees of the Lord, they are representatives of Krishna. And since Krishna is all-knowing, the Supreme Lord is, the pure devotees of the Lord are also all-knowing. They are called Trikalajian. But this Trikalajian, knowing past, present, and future, because the devotees of the Lord do not on their own try to know the past, present, and future, even though they are Trikalajians, they do not know everything past, present, and future, like the yogis do. So there was a time in Ghana, we were having Sundarati. I think I've shared this pastime here before. And we had one young guy worshiping with us, but this young guy had some sort of mental problem. We all knew he had mental problem. So as he was worshiping with us, we were chanting Prema Dwani. His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj was with us. And he was sitting in his asan and was chanting Prema Dwani. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Paramkacharya Sutara Sata Shri Srimad is by grace. And as all devotees had bowed down, offering the obeisances, responding to this Prema Dwani invocation, this mentally deranged young man went to Srila Prabhupada and carried Srila Prabhupada's murti. And he was taking Srila Prabhupada away from the temple room to where nobody knew. So all we could hear was, hey, 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 look, look, look. So His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj saw this boy carrying Srila Prabhupada. So everybody got up from the floor offering obeisances, and we saw this guy carrying Srila Prabhupada's murti. He carried Srila Prabhupada all to himself. So we all rushed to him. First concern was how to protect Srila Prabhupada, preventing him from falling. So once we were able to secure Srila Prabhupada, then we were able to push him away from Srila Prabhupada. And so one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj a question. Says, well, Gurudev, and he's a disciple of Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj, but this devotee also had some psychological problems. So he said, Gurudev, it is said that the pure devotees of the Lord, they know everything. So why didn't you know that this boy was going to steal Srila Prabhupada? And Gurudev said, well, when the scriptures say the pure devotees of the Lord knows everything, they know everything, does not mean that they know every nonsense every devotee is committing. No. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada said that the pure devotees of the Lord, or the devotees of the Lord who have dedicated their lives to serving Guru and Krishna, they do not use any mystic powers, any yogic powers to know anything past, present, or future. Yet they understand everything from the scriptures. They know everything from the scriptures. How? Because Krishna, by the grace of Krishna, Krishna reveals to them. So the pure devotees of the Lord do not use any yogic powers to understand anything. When Krishna wants them to know of something, then Krishna will reveal to them. If Krishna does not want them to know, Krishna will not reveal to them. I mean, who being a very good parent, would like to share every little stupid nonsense thing going on to his beloved child? You only share information with your child that you want your child to be aware of. You do not want to unnecessarily overburden your child for unnecessary and every single stupid things. No. So the pure devotees of the Lord, they understand the lives on other planets through the eyes of the scriptures. And there are others who at certain times, by Sri Guru Krishna's grace, may be transported to certain planets just to envision what's going on. So this is the beauty of spiritual life. Spiritual life is not dry. Spiritual life is such that even though one is living on this earth planet, but he could also have other different planetary experiences. And just as we studied from the previous verses, even forefathers, ghosts, are considered to be higher than earthly humans. Why? Because they have lots of mystical powers. They have lots of mystical energies that they can do many things we humans cannot. So the bottom line is that, as intriguing as it may be, trying to know the life experiences on other planets, the most important thing for us as human beings is to use our time in such a way that we do not waste our time. Srila Prabhupada taught us that in Krishna consciousness, utility is the principle. So the principle is that we have to utilize our time judiciously, wisely, in such a way that we do not waste time. Time is Krishna, just as money is Lakshmi, is Krishna's eternal consort. So we do not waste money. We do not waste money, we do not waste time. So the time given to us, whether it is 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 60 years, 100 years, whatever the years may be, we have to utilize the years in serving Guru and Krishna. Bhakta Prahlad taught his classmates, do not think that you have such a long life to live and therefore you're not going to serve God in your childhood until you become old. You never know. Some children are born today and they die today. Some children are born, once they hit their toddler age, they die. School age, they die. Youth, at any stage, we can die. So Mother Kunti says, Padam, Padam, Yad Vi Padam. At every step we take, there is danger. We may say, I am going to work, and you never come back from work. I'm going to school, and you never come back from school. I'm traveling for vacation, and that is the end of you. You never come back. So it is recommended that everyone should live his or her life in such a way that we are in the mood that this is my last day on earth. And if today is the last day on our earth planet, then what are we going to do? Are we going to hold grudges? Are we going to stop talking to this person, that person? We're not going to do that. But because we think we have long life to live, so we get upset with somebody, we say, no, I'm not going to talk to this person again. It's very childish. We have to make good use of our time because we never know. Anything can happen at any time. His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj has also given us 4 principles of community building. The person you think you do not need anything from him says, this person, I don't need anything from you. I don't require anything from you. Will be the very person material nature will arrange that you're going to need at some point in your life. I have one senior god brother, Baladev Prabhu in Ghana. He used to say that no one knows who is going to care for whoever. Therefore, we should live our lives in such a way that in our minds, we think that this person is going to be my caretaker. That person is going to be my caretaker. Because you never know. But whether it is 1 hour, 10 hours, 5 hours, 5 years, 50 years, we should utilize each and every single moment to serving Guru and Krishna and his devotees. And when time comes for us to leave this body, there will be no regrets. With that, I'll bring this to an end and see if the devotees may have questions, comments, or reflections. Hare Krishna. I found this very interesting. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, text 17. 4:30 deals with the prachitas. So it says, the duration of life prescribed for the prachitas by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is calculated by the time measurements of higher planetary systems, not our system. So it says our 6 Earth months are said to equal 12 hours in the higher planetary systems. 30 days equal 1 month, and 12 months equal 1 year. In this way, for 1 million years, according to the calculations of the higher planetary system, the prachitas were allowed to enjoy all kinds of material facilities. So just imagine, those of us on Earth planet, we think we want to enjoy. How long can we enjoy? Our so-called time of enjoyment is like a flash in the time of the prachitas, for example. Because our 6 months is their 12 hours, like I said initially. So we should not be proud. We should not be proud. There are many higher, superior people or living beings than us. But it so happens that those who do not have much, they bluff, they brag. Those who have so much, they are very quiet. So empty barrels make the most noise. So we realize that those who are devotees of the Lord, because they understand different dimensions within the universe, they don't speak a lot. When they speak, it's glorification of the Lord. They don't talk nonsense. Those of us who do not know much, we like to talk. We're always babbling, talking. And Srila Prabhupada explains that our useless talk is the croaking of a frog. Because when the frog starts croaking, he inadvertently is inviting the snake to be swallowed. So our useless, unnecessary talk will be inviting death. But when we use the same talking ability, praising Krishna and his pure devotees, that is our license to go back on Bhakti Godhead. Because Krishna wants to hear his name glorified. When we glorify the names of the Lord will become pleased with us and we'll be able to go back on Bhakti Godhead. So we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our appreciation to the Parampara for giving us this opportunity to daily hear from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Katha, hearing about Shri Krishna and his pure devotees. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Hare
Pancha Kalpatarunyas, Prasin Devacha, Titanam Pavanagiri Vaishnava Ananta Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Krishna Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Vaishnava